Okay, everybody, this is going to be our first video, first part on why people don't get a 9 and what are the things that destroy people's marks. There are lots of things in CELPIP. These, however, are the most common mistakes, and I'm again telling you guys, more than 85% people do this. That's why a lot of people fail in the exam, and we think this is part of normal speech. We're also deceived by online samples that show that it's okay to do this and you'll still get a good score. That is not true. People who do these things absolutely score lesser, and you don't wanna. So let's see what they are. First thing we do very commonly, knowingly and unknowingly, is using ums. Okay, so when you use ums, when I'm talking, you can see I'm trying not to use ums. I am pausing instead. And if you are not pausing and you are using ums, you are adding fillers into your speech. I would also want to put so, and you cannot avoid, but if you say and too many times, it's also a filler. But I didn't put all of those. I just put because is the most common one and everybody uses it. Please don't use it. All right, if you are one of those participants who doesn't use it, examiners will notice it because, again, 1 out of 10 people don't use it, and that is what examiners want. It is not going to hurt your fluency if you pause for less than 2 seconds. More than 2 seconds is too much. But just pause instead of using and you will get your fluency mark. Plus, you will get the mark for confidence, which is tone, which we're going to come to later. But ums destroy your speaking mark completely. Please don't say ums in your exam. Using connectors, same thing. Connectors, conjunctions, same thing. People use only 3 main conjunctions: and, but, and so. Don't do that, all right? So you want to use instead of and. There's so many variations also other than that, apart from that, furthermore, likewise, moreover, on top of that. Okay, instead of but, you have however, nonetheless, nevertheless. And instead of so, if you're concluding, therefore, hence, thereby, overall, conclusively. Once again, you can rewind this video and write those things down if you haven't seen our detailed lesson on connectors yet. But use connectors. Don't keep on saying and a million times. You lose marks for that as well. Timing is important in a way where you start exactly when the speaking prompt starts. Do not delay. Examiners know you're just trying to delay time, and that is going to make you lose marks. Just don't do that. Start on time. Finish 5 seconds before the finish time. This is not an examiner criteria. It's for yourself. If you ever try to finish on the 1 minute mark or 1.5 minutes, you will end up speaking more. That is what always happens. Try targeting to finish 5 seconds earlier, and you will notice you will actually go over that too. All right, so finishing and starting on time, super important. Structure, it's different with every question, but you want to make sure you have a structure with every question. Once again, get your notes ready. For task 1, the structure is you have your intro, giving your opinion. You have 3 points for your opinion, and then you rephrase your opinion at the end. For part 2, the description of an event, a person, or whatever the topic is, you would describe the person with just 3 points maximum. Remember, 10 points, you don't need to do that. If you just do 3 quality points, it's good enough. Just define, for example, your favorite possession is a Rolex watch. So define the look of it, the price of it, and where you bought it. Okay, 3 things are enough. Just define that in detail. In questions 3 and 4, when you're describing the picture, you describe as much as you can. The structure there, I will not say is 5 or 6 points, but describing the whole picture, the more you cover, the better it is. Go with that, but make sure you add the background, foreground in it. So that could be your starting sentence, what is happening in the background and foreground, what you predict to happen in the background and foreground, and in the middle, at least target 3 main points, but at the same time, try to include as many things as you can. I will say if you are running out of time and there's still things left to say, you can say that overall everybody else is enjoying. Overall everybody else is busy in talking, in conversation. So you find a way to add one sentence that covers everybody else. Like overall other people are doing this. Part 5, when you're comparing, once again here, you start with your opinion. I prefer this option versus the other. And then compare everything. You got to compare all the points that you prefer, but when I say everything, it means all the points that you prefer and all the points that you don't like from the other option, okay? You also have to criticize the other person. So that is why it's called a comparison question, because you have to show my thing is better versus the other guy. Now, use a combination of sentences here. If your object says this is worth 5,000 and the other person is 10,000, you can say my object is $5,000 lesser. This way you don't have to say my object is 5,000, yours is 10,000. So you save wordings by combining sentences, and that way you can cover as much as possible. The more you can in a minute, the better. When you go to part 6, the structure is you're mostly giving a bad news, right? So you start with unfortunately, or I'm sorry to say that this is what's happening. You give 2 to 3 reasons, 2 to 3 reasons only for why it's happening and how you cannot control the situation. At the end, you finish off with an alternative that, look, I cannot give you this, but maybe I can do this for you. All right, that's the structure for that. We have all these things written down in our template lesson. If you haven't seen our speaking template lesson, please check that out. Now, coming to part 7, when you have to give an opinion, give your opinion, followed by 3 points why you support your opinion, and in the end, rephrase your opinion. That's it. When you come to speaking part 8, you explain, you have the conversation with someone. So you do your greeting at the start, greeting at the end, and in the middle, 3 to 4 points. Explaining the picture or explaining the situation, 3 to 4 points are enough. So that's it, guys. Went over it a little fast because we have covered it in our template discussion. But if you haven't seen it, please check it out. And if you want to rewind this video, pause, take notes on the structure, do that. Because structure is super important. People usually just go in and talk and just say whatever they want. You have marks for structure, so you have to keep it organized, okay? Tone. When you're talking to a friend, for example, in part 1, this is just an example. You're giving a suggestion. You're telling the person, I want you to lose weight because you're going to just kill yourself. Don't say it like how I said it. It's monotone. You need a very natural tone when you talk to a friend. Please, Bob, I beg you, do not continue your junk food diet. I really want you to get better. Emphasis, okay, volume changes, fluctuations. That's what native speakers do, but not what non-native speakers do. And if you have a monotone, robotic tone in the exam, forget getting a 9 or more. Vocabulary, we've done numerous lessons in this course on it. Make sure your vocab is strong. It is not basic words like good, bad, sad, but instead marvelous, detrimental, gloomy, and everything should be just upgraded. You want to say big, say gigantic, massive, colossal. You want to say small, say tiny, trivial, insignificant. Every vocab you can make better, make it better. And task response, again, just follow our template and what I explained in the structure. You will make sure you hit the task response. It's just a separate point to mention because people lose marks here when they go off topic. For example, the part 8 question is about defining what is happening in a certain environment, but people get too involved in the greeting. Hey, how are you, Bob? How's your wife? How's your family? I haven't seen you for a long time. That is 30 seconds gone, right? So if it's saying focus on the picture, focus on the picture, please. Don't go in the greeting too much. Greeting is just a way to do the intro and conclusion. If question number 5 is talking about comparison, focus on how my object is better than your object. Do the comparison. Don't say, I have been thinking about this object. It's a really hard thing to think about. I cannot come to a decision here. All those extra things that you are saying, which fill up your intro, you will see if you do it too long, you end up going over time and you end up not giving enough time to the actual content. So make sure you look and read the question, focus on the thing that is being said, keep your intro and conclusions limited. And once again, check out our template lesson because that is where you have exact intro and conclusions written out. If you do those, you won't have the problem of going away from the topic. All right, avoid these mistakes and we're gonna go with part 2 very soon here.